Psychological thrillers are focused around the psychology of the characters involved and often their unstable state of mind. The storyline tends to reflect the protagonist's fractured sense of reality and what they perceive to be the truth, with central themes of isolation, confusion, guilt and mystery. When creating my trailer, I adhered to a number of conventions typically present in psychological thrillers that make them prototypical of their genre and easily identifiable to an audience. One of these conventions is camera work and the shot types used. In both Shutter Island and A Cure for Wellness, the theme of isolation is highlighted by showing the main character or characters near the start of the trailer travelling to their destination where the majority of the film's events will transpire. As shown by the establishing shots in each instance, they are moving to far-out locations away from civilization and the normalcy both they and the audience associate with it. I decided to replicate this in my trailer with a lockdown tracking shot of a road sign, followed by an establishing shot of the more rural roadside, and finally a wide shot of the car parked by the coast. I decided to use a shot with a low angle as it has connotations of being powerless and intimidated. It also puts the viewer in the perspective of the person seated in the car and connects the viewer's emotional state with theirs, making them more involved with the story. The audience can clearly see the protagonists moving away from civilization, and when combined with the slow fading cuts, cold colour grading, and moody weather, it provides a sense of foreboding typical of the genre. It also creates a sense of anticipation. Expectations we have in our everyday lives about acceptable behaviours, laws, and typical events are not established in the new location away from everyday life settings and the comfort of many people around to help. Thus, this puts the characters in a more vulnerable situation where anything is possible, and there is likely no or limited emergency services providing a safety net for the characters. Another shot conventional of my chosen genre is close-ups and extreme close-ups. Extreme close-ups focus entirely on the details involved in a frame, and in psychological thrillers they are frequently used to focus on details that will either provide exposition of some kind or initiate an emotional response from viewers. It could be because what is shown is disturbing, intriguing, but more often than not the response is not clear-cut, instead designed to relate to subconscious associations that the viewer might make with what they see and instill a more entrenched emotional response that, like the genre, is designed to reflect upon the human psyche. They can also encourage the viewer to find them aesthetically pleasing in a rather complex way. There is a blend of the attractive with the disconcerting. For example, the grace of a deer subtly paired with death, as the reflection in its eye can only be possible if it is mounted on a wall. The bright colour of a bulb accompanied by a sign that warns of danger, and a journal that could be innocent as a diary if not for the ominous word "run" scrawled across it. These emotionally charged images present horror alongside beauty, and in doing so create moments of cognitive dissonance. I wanted to imitate this in my trailer, and in a number of instances used close-ups and extreme close-ups to hopefully provoke a mixture of emotions from the audience. They also have an extra purpose of representing specific features that cause sensory triggers for the main character and provoke her flashback of memories. Another convention I adhered to in making my trailer was that of the editing style typical of my chosen genre. As seen in the trailer for Shutter Island, a sense of disorientation is created through the use of matching shots and abrupt editing. The camera angle and shot composition remain the same between each scene. The corridor shapes of a cosy home and a dark prison match perfectly, as do the positioning of DiCaprio's close-ups. I decided to draw from this and incorporate it into my trailer in a little bit of a more subtle way. In this montage shot, I adjusted the size and position of the close-up shots of the eye and sink in Premiere so the iris and sinkhole matched up on top of each other. This can be seen more clearly when slowed down. Near the climax of the trailer, a montage of shots are cut back to back to convey the rising action and show excerpts that are exciting for the audience without giving too much away about the plot. I created my own montage with faster cuts between tense scenes and a recurring shot of a dark corridor interspersing them. It creates an increasingly fast rhythm that builds excitement in the audience towards the end and keeps the pace of the trailer up, maintaining fluidity. A convention of film trailers in general is the use of an institutional logo, commonly shown near the beginning of the trailer. I adhered to this convention by creating my own and editing it in after the opening sequence. When creating the name for my film company, I decided upon a few criteria that I had to adhere to. Reflect the genre. I would want the name to give the audience an idea of the sort of content that the brand produced. Short and snappy. Like most brand names, it had to be short and snappy to be memorable to the viewer and roll off the tongue. After brainstorming, I eventually decided on the name Half Moon Studios. Originally, the moon and its lunar cycle were attributed to the various mental and emotional states of people, with the word lunatic being in reference to intermittent periods of insanity, such as were believed to be triggered by the full moon. As well as the obvious mythological origins for stories, its symbolism has been incorporated into literature and media for many years. A few common connotations that are applicable to my trailer are the themes of mystery, perception, emotion, and the human psyche. The protagonist of the story is trying to uncover the truth whilst battling with her declining mental state. The half moon specifically has associations with challenges and decisions which are applicable to what she has to face throughout the film. As a logo, it also has visual connotations that associate it with the prominent themes featured in the film's story. The moon being half in shadow alludes to the mystery elements, the unseen, and what is being hidden. In film, colour is used to set the atmosphere and create a mood that is in sync with the story. Across the mystery and psychological thriller genres, cold colours are used in costumes, mise-en-scène, and post-production grading to help externalise characters' feelings of detachment and confusion, and help relay the cerebral nature of the plot's premise. Blue particularly has connotations of cold, sadness, and isolation, themes most prominent in existing trailers of this genre, and in mine. Increasing the prominence of the colour blue in scenes from my trailer and reducing warmer tones emphasised the cold coastal setting and added to the mysterious atmosphere. By employing these natural associations, it worked to create a prominent atmosphere and also immediately tell the audience the sort of film being advertised due to this common convention. In conclusion, my trailer adopted conventions typical of my chosen genre, including but not limited to shot types, editing, colour, and use of an institutional logo. I was greatly influenced by practitioners and existing material in my research. By incorporating these with my own ideas, I was able to be creative in emulating these conventions to enhance my own media work.